Hello everyone, welcome back to our Laravel tutorial series. In our previous session, we have completed a full CRUD system. So we have seen how to edit, how to create, how to show, and how to update our blogs in our website. So at this point, the application works for every user. That means any user can create, any user can edit, and any user can delete posts. But there is a serious problem. Anyone can edit, anyone can delete means there is no user in our system. So we need to fix it using default Laravel authentication system, which is called Laravel Breeze. So now we fix that by adding authentication. So this is where our application becomes real. In general, when we say authentication and security, authentication means identifying who the user is. It answers the question who is currently using the system. Once we know that, we can control access and personalize our data. So, our step one should be installing Laravel Breeze, that is quick scaffolding for authentication routes, views, and controller. Next is CSRF protection, that means cross-site request forgery protection. Will automate we will automate to detect and to prevent cross-site request forgery tokens in all forms. And next, fillable fields. We define fillable property to prevent mass assignment and vulnerability, as we have seen yesterday. Next is middleware. Protect root with Auth and guest middleware for access control. That means we need to create authentication and also a middleware to protect our routers, especially a public user only can see the posts. So any authenticated user can edit, post, and update. So our authentication route can be login, user login form, register, account creation, and dashboard, protected area, and logout session termination area. So now let's start to install uh, Laravel Breeze. So now let's say composer require Laravel Breeze and dev. So this Laravel Breeze provides a complete authentication system. It automatically adds a login page, register page, password handling, user table, authentication routers. So it makes our work easy. So instead of building out from scratch, we use a default Breeze. So this is called scaffolding. That means Laravel generates ready to use feature for us. So this saves time and ensures best practice. So our installation of Laravel Breeze may take a little bit of time. So let's increase the speed. So it's done. Next, we need to install a blade because we require blade since Laravel is adding front-end asset and authentication logic. We should install the blade first. So now let's say PHP artisan breeze install blade. So this will run automatically. Well, yes, this is done. So our next move will be creating new views and control behind the scene. So we need to run npm install and npm run build. So we need to install npm and npm run build. First of all, let's say npm install. This will not take longer. So now our npm installation is done. Let's run our build. Next move will be npm run build. Let's click enter. So our npm run build is already completed. So now let's migrate things. Let's say php artisan migrates. I've already done it before, so now it will return database is already existed. Let's run anyway, because when you do, you should follow these steps. Let's say php artisan migrate and then enter. So as you can see, it returns that the database already existed since I have run it earlier. So now we are done with installing please. So we need to check it whether it's working or not working. But before that, we need to run our node environment. So let's go to our directory. Okay, let's see log up. Let's open terminal here. My favorite is git. Let's open git. First, let's run the node. So let's say npm run. Let's zoom this. Npm run. Save. So this, yeah, it's working. It's enables us to use the byte and the node development environment. Next, let's run runtime. Let's uh, serve our artisan. So let's say php artisan serve. Actually, when we run our site, this time it will generate the default Laravel homepage with login and register. And our next step will be transforming those what we call is as those UI or those blade into our existing forms. So let's run this. See, as I've already said, it will display the default Laravel uh, login and register page. Now let's say register. So you will get the default register page for Laravel. Say let's say random email. Let's make password. So after session is authenticated, let me see where it will going. Okay, I think the email is already I have created. Let's add some. Let's say oh yeah, okay, let's save it. So it is going to default Laravel dashboard. So this will not be our website homepage. So we need to redirect the authenticated session into our original blog post. Actually, when you see, let's say logout, when we register, it have already said earlier that the token is already taken. So when we counter such kind of things, we can, what we call is that we can create or we can refresh our database so that this kind of thing will not happen again. So we'll say PHP artisan migrate fresh. Let's say PHP artisan migrate uh, fresh. So now our database is already, what we call is that, cleared. So we need to register it again. For example, I've already registered, but when I have tr- when I try to log in after running migration using default password, I will not be authenticated because the credential does not match our record. So let's create new one. Every time you run HP artisan migrate fresh, it will clean our database. Now let's register again. So we are testing our authentication system, whether it's working as intended or not. We need to check and confirm all necessary things are properly configured. Let's create a new one. So let's create a new user. Now let's register. Let's update this. So now let's check whether our login system is working or not working. Let's say logout and let's say login. So I think I've already updated it, so I don't need type. So it's automatically uh redirect to our dashboard. So Laravel uses a session to keep user logged in. So after a login, Laravel stores user info and every request knows the current user. So this is how the authentication persists. So our next stage will be protecting our routes. We need to restrict access. So now let's open our root web.php. See, I have updated our root or web.php. So at first line, root, this public function welcome this default. So our protection start here. Root middleware out. This applies authentication protection. That means only logged in user can access these routes. These routes are editing, updating, and deleting. So this will be for only protected or authenticated user with protected session and tokens. So when we say group function here, this groups multiple routes together. That means all routes inside of this inside this middleware inherits the same middleware. So they inherit same middleware, which is authentication or out. So middleware acts as filter. Before a request reaches the controller, Laravel checks, is the user authenticated? So if not, it redirects it to the login. So now we need to update our authentication UI, because the UI is only applied to the default Laravel dashboard. So I need to create my own UI to integrate it with our existing blogging system. So our next step should be on app.php. So we have layout inside the views. We have our views and resources. Inside our resources, there is view. Then there are layout. Under layout, we have app.play.php. So let's update this to integrate to our existing UI formats. So right now I have updated our UI. So I have added some styling, cards, buttons, button hover, and then authentication nav bar. So our authentication nav bar, we need to move from default dashboard into our what we call is that existing. So I need to make UI. So I have already created a UI. So this is simply to align with our existing web blog. So next thing we should do is that we need to redirect authentication login system to our what we call is that to our routers. So our home is we don't have what we call is that a dashboard. root get dashboard function root return view dashboard. This is the default Laravel. So our home is what we call is that this is not our home. So we need to redirect to our default log app home. So now let's adjust it. So now let's go to our app, and then out. I think, yeah, out here there is an authenticated session controller. So here return a redirect intended dashboard. So since we don't have a dashboard, we need to change this in our uh, home. So let's redirect it to our default home. So there is again, is there any dashboard here? There's no dashboard here. So let's change it. So now we return redirect to our intended home. This is our home, and include after login, I think, registered user controller here also. Yes, also redirect dashboard. Instead, let's make it a redirect to our intended home. So after that, the login, it redirect to our routers. So as I have already mentioned that we need to redirect directly into our uh, website or into our platform. So we make it root gates post controller class index. So these are our protected routes, such as a root gate create, store, edit, update, and destroy, while a public is post controller class show. Now let's check it. Now let's check it. See, let's log out. See, we have login and register button in our home page. So let's say login. So using default, let's login. After login, it redirects me to our create route. So that now I can create a post. So our next step is linking a user to the post. So now let's do it together. We use command php artisan make migration. Let's do it together. So now we need to link post to the user. So now we connect post to the user, so we can create a new migration. PHP artisan make migration, add. We need to add user ID to each post. So to post table. So PHP artisan make migration, add user ID to post table. Let's run. It should be posts. Let's run this. Should be succeed. Should return a successful message unless we can edit something. Yeah, I think it's created. So let's check our migration. Still, we don't see any new table here. Okay, I think we made some space here. Space not needed. Let's run it again. Yeah, we have created it successfully. So you need check whether there is no space between make a migration. Let's check it. So we have ups and downs function here. So next, let's run uh, migrate this PHP or artisan great. Okay, PHP artisan migrate. So it's done. We have done our migration. But we can edit something important here. We need to change our table constraint here. Our schema is table host function blueprint table. Instead of this, we will use a foreign ID. Let's say so. Let's add a table. Let's add table foreign ID. And this is a user ID. Which is constraint constraint cascade on delete. Cascade on delete. Because when we say foreign ID user ID, this adds a column linking to user table. When we say constraint creates a foreign key relationship. Cascade on delete means if user is deleted, posts are delete automatically. So we need to add this thing is so the relationship is that this creates some relationship. User has many posts post belong to each user. So this is how data is connected. So now let's update our model post PHP. Let's say, so our next step is updating our model in our protected fillable. Let's add something, user ID. This should be here. Uh, User ID should be here. And then let's create some function. Let's create a public function user, and then that return this belongs to each user. That means to user class. So this defines the relationship in code. Now we can access host and user. Next, let's uh, update the store method in our controller. I think we have a post controller. Okay, we have models, view controllers. There's controller post controller.php. So let's update the store method. Where is the store? Post create. So create, when we use create, we need to add user ID. User ID should be added here. User ID, single quote, sorry, should be a single quote. Okay. Let's say user ID user ID out the ID. So user ID out to the ID. Out ID gets current logged in users. So it's used to check the logged user. So each post now belongs to a specific user. This is called data ownership. It's critical for security and personalization. So now let's check it whether it's working or not working. Let's rerun this. So using actually, let's create new post. Let's copy something from our uh, PowerPoint. Likewise, earlier, let's say a full blogging platform. Let's make this title, description will be complete. Let's copy this and redo this. Publish this. See, the owner of this is Aklil. So this is my, what we call is that my blog, so that I can edit it. Uh, let's write 25. 25 and update it so that I can update that. Let's log out and register with a new user. Let's register someone. Let's name it John. Email would be john at gmail.com. Let's make password. So let's register it. Okay, we need to set 8 character. Okay, let's make it 5, 8. Now it will work. Let's save it. Doesn't much really. Then let's think it we have already checked it. See? Now John is logged in, so that John can view my site. It also it can edit, let's say 2556. So now it is updated. So the next problem is everyone should be able to edit only its own post. That is the concept of authorization. In this step, we have completed what we call is that our authentication. Next should be authorization. So post that's created by someone should be edited only by itself. So we need to protect the CIA trait, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So the next step should be authorization. So summarize our today's discussion. At this stage, your application now has login and registration. We have completed it. Next, we have protected routes so that only a logged user can access these mechanisms. So the data is user-based data. We have dynamic UIs. We have created a dynamic UI based on the user. So our app is real for multi-user in a system. Still, as I've already mentioned, there is a one problem. Users are logged in, but they can still edit others' post. So in the next page, we fix this using authorization mechanism. So thank you for today's session. So in the next session, we will see authorization. Till then, bye bye.